Hello and welcome to this Mind Hour session. Today we are going to discuss force and Newton's law of motion, which help us to relate force and motion of objects. We will also be looking at another important contribution made by Newton, the universal law of gravitation. Force is a push or a pull on an object. The interaction of one object with other results in a force between the two objects. If a force acts on an object in the direction of its motion, then the object moves faster. If a force acts on an object opposite to the direction of its motion, then the object slows down. Force also changes the direction of motion of an object. The effect of force changes with the direction of its application. Forces acting on an object in the same direction add to each other, while forces acting opposite to each other results in the difference of the forces. Force acting on a body can change its shape, as in the case of a stretched or compressed spring. The international unit used to measure force is Newton. A force can change the shape and size of an object. There are many types of forces. The force resulting from the action of muscles is called muscular force. We make use of muscular force of animals like bullocks, horses, and camels to get our activities done. Friction is another type of contact force that always acts opposite to the direction of motion of the objects. Magnetic force and electrostatic force are non-contact forces as they act on an object from a distance. The force of gravity is also a non-contact and an attractive force exerted by the earth on objects, due to which objects fall to the ground. Gravitational force is an attractive force between any two objects in the universe and is a non-contact force. If two forces act on an object in the same direction, the net force acting on it is the sum of both the forces. If two forces act on an object in the opposite directions, the net force acting on it is the difference between the two forces. We can classify forces as contact forces or non-contact forces. A contact force is a force between two objects that are in contact with each other directly or indirectly, and any force that is exerted without any contact between two bodies is a non-contact force. If an object does not change its position with respect to time and the surroundings, it is said to be at rest, else it is said to be in motion. Force is that which changes or tries to change the state of rest or of motion of an object by a push or pull. The magnitude of force on an object is given by the product of the mass of the object and its acceleration. Mathematically, it is expressed by the equation F is equal to m into a. The line along which a force acts on an object is called the line of action of the force. The point where the force acts on an object is called the point of application of the force. When a number of forces act simultaneously on an object, then their equivalent is the net force on an object. If the net force is 0, the forces are said to be balanced, which results in zero acceleration. Else, the forces are said to be unbalanced, which results in acceleration of the object. The force that opposes the relative motion between the surfaces of two objects in contact and acts along the surfaces in contact is called the force of friction or friction. According to the concepts developed by Galileo Galilei, in the absence of friction, no force is required to keep an object moving after bringing it in motion. In other words, an object, if once set into motion, moves with uniform velocity if no force acts on it. Thus, a body continues to be in the state of rest or in the state of uniform motion unless an external force acts on it. According to the concepts developed by Galileo Galilei and Isaac Newton, if a body is either at rest or in uniform motion along a straight line path, then it is said to be in its natural state. When the forces acting on an object are balanced, the net force or the resultant force acting on the body is 0. In such cases, the body continues to be in its natural state. If all the forces acting on a body result in an unbalanced force, then the unbalanced force can accelerate the body. It means that a net force or resulting force acting on a body can either change the magnitude of its velocity or change the direction of its velocity. Sometimes balanced forces can cause a change in the shape of a body. The SI unit for force is the Newton and its CGS unit is the dyne. Gram centimeter per second square is known as dyne. 1 Newton is equal to 105 dyne.